What's up, guys? Finally getting this shit started, man. I've been saying for so long, I was like, it's probably been like, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half when I first got the idea of like, man, I want to do a podcast, you know? I've just got so many crazy like ideas and shit like that, you know? We can just talk about it, you know? We can have people on, it'll be great, you know? But my ass is lazy, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it at some point. I even went out and got two microphones, pretty nice microphones, and they've just been sitting here, just in my, under my desk, just picking up dust and shit. So, well, we're finally starting, and I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have a lot of good conversations. We're gonna learn a bunch of cool shit. So first off, for those of you who don't know me, I know most of you do, but in the future, if anyone's listening, I'm Dax. I'm 21, and yeah, I mean, there's it's not much else to me in that sense. A lot of people tend to think tend to tell me I have some pretty extreme views and I have a pretty different view of the world than most people. I see things very differently, and so a lot of people ask me, they ask me for advice. They ask me for my opinion on things, like, Dex, what would you do in this situation, and I'll help them out, at least I'll try, I'll answer, and a lot of people think that I'm just being an asshole just to be an asshole, but that's not the case at all, man. Like, sometimes, there's certain people that are just so fun to piss off, but most of the time, when I say something crazy and, out there and extreme, usually it's it brings out the passion in people, whether they agree with me or they disagree with me, I think passion is such an admirable trait, or admirable quality, so even if, at any point in this podcast, if you guys disagree with anything I say, which you will, I guarantee it, there's no way you guys are going to agree with everything I say, which I hope you wouldn't, then I wouldn't have a need for this podcast, and the world would be an extremely fucking boring place. So, if at any point you guys, don't agree with me, or you guys think I'm just being a dick, tell me about it. You can message me, you can email me, and you can just be like, yo, this is why, and start a conversation about it. I want to hear your reason for this shit. Oh, another thing, sorry for my voice, man. A car backed into me last night when I was walking through. There's a Smith's by my house, and I was walking to Smith's, and the car just backed into me. He didn't hit me very hard. He just nicked me, but it hurt pretty fucking bad, man. I think he just didn't see me. I was wearing all black, and it was pretty dark outside, or getting dark outside, and it just, yeah. So my ribs kind of hurt, so it's kind of hard to talk, but told you guys I was gonna do it today, so I'm gonna do it. Not about to not keep my promise. Another thing, a lot of people seem to be interested in my two mental disorders. And I have no problem talking about it, at any point, whether you're on the show or if you meet me in person, or, if you wanted to ask me about it, over Messenger or email, whatever, feel free, it is impossible to offend me. So, that's one of the reasons why I think I have such a different worldview. It's because I have these, I have these two disorders, and they've kind of, they're not my personality, but they've kind of helped develop my personality. I never want to be that guy that's just their entire personality is their illnesses or whatever, I fucking hate that shit. But, they've definitely helped form my personality in a sense. I think especially my personality disorder. So I'll talk about that, sometimes, especially people ask, I'm just not going to go on a rant about it usually or anything like that, because it's just, there's so many misconceptions, and, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I need to talk about it, because, I'll see something on it, and I'll just be like, motherfuck, that's not how it is, man, not all of us are like that, or whatever, but, so yeah, I probably won't be talking about that stuff too much, unless you guys ask, and feel free to ask, please, if you guys have any questions, about anything, me personally, about, Dax, what type of shit do you see, what type of, I get that shit all the time, but, you can ask, it doesn't bother me. Um, so another thing is this is probably going to be the only episode with just me on it. I mean, there might be a few in the future, but I think for the most part, it's going to be me with a guest. My roommate and best friend, Austin, he's going to be on all the time, you know? And he's a cool dude. I love him to death. It's actually his birthday today. Shout out to Austin. But yeah, he and I have the craziest conversations. You know, we can go so in depth with shit, and you know, usually at night it's just him and I just chilling here, like playing games, you know, hanging out and like listening to music and shit, and we'll just be talking about stuff. And sometimes we'll be like, "Oh man, that shit should have been on a podcast," you know? Like we'll watch like a video or something that's going around, and we'll like have these crazy views on it, and we'll like, you know, pause it and like give our opinions, and we'll be like, "Why don't we record this shit, man? You know, this would be great to be recorded." You know, we'll even just have a basic conversation. We'll be like, damn, that was podcast worthy, you know? So yeah, he's going to be on here all the time. And you guys, you know, I want all of you guys on here. You guys are some glorious motherfuckers, and I want you guys on here. So the one thing, I don't want just anyone on here. If you've just got a very bland, basic worldview, then you're probably not going to be that interesting. You know, it's just the way it is. You know, that kind of sounds harsh, but it's a fact. You know, no one wants to be around someone. I mean, not that no one wants to be around them, but no one wants to have a long, you know, in-depth hour to 2 hour long podcast session with someone that just, you know, is just fucking bland, you know? Not a chance. But, you know, most of you guys have extremely interesting views, and, you know, a lot of the messages I get are like, Dax, what do you think about this? Or like, I think this, and, you know, those, you know, on my posts too. You guys will do that. But I think I'm gonna I'm gonna take away from my Facebook, and I'm not gonna post on there as much because honestly I don't like Facebook. It's just, before I was like, I have all these crazy opinions, I need to get them out there, you know? And so I just post them on there, you know? And they usually got really good, you know, a lot of people agreed with them, or, you know, thought they were interesting. So I think I'm going to do a lot of that stuff more on here, because I'm an alright writer, but I feel like I'm a better speaker, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's that. You know, I'll still make posts every once in a while, but I'm just kind of sick of Facebook. It's just people bitching about the same shit all the time. And I just can't handle it, man. Like, I just can't handle it. So, but yeah. Another thing is I'm gonna just I don't want this to be I don't want this to be just me sitting in my apartment doing, you know, a podcast every time. Like, I will do that most of the time. But, you know, there's sometimes that I want to go out into the real world, and I'll bring like a portable recorder, and I'll, you know, try to investigate shit, and like if there's a interesting mystery I find, or something that just hasn't been like looked at enough, or something like that, you know, I can go interview people and I'll record the whole thing, you know. We can do, if you guys have any suggestions for like some, you know, Salt Lake City mysteries or whatever, or something just interesting or haunted or anything, you know, like that, yeah, message me, email me, daxwilson7@gmail.com, or just message me on Facebook or whatever. And tell me about it, and, you know, we'll go. I can, you know, I'll get like my guest for that week, or just whoever wants to, and we'll go investigate. We'll go interview people. We'll go find the history of that shit, you know, stuff like that. I think there's so many crazy mysteries out in this fucking world that, it's just, and we're never gonna be able to figure them all out. But part of the fun is just trying. Am I right? So we're gonna do that. And then, let's see, what else? So yeah, we're gonna be out in the real world doing some stuff. We're gonna have guests on pretty much every single week. Sometimes I might live stream, but the main reason why I decided to go with recording it beforehand, sorry, is because a lot of live streaming services like Twitch and stuff, you can get banned for certain things that are, you know, too offensive or controversial. Someone could report you, and then you get banned. No, I want this to be completely censorship free. You know, I'm not going to edit anything that anyone says out. I want this to be pure and raw. You know, I might edit like the sound quality and shit, like that, but I'm never gonna edit anything out. Anyone, if one of us fucks up while we're on the show, we're just gonna roll with it, man. I feel like that's the best way to do it. And I'm such a freedom of speech advocate. That's one thing about this podcast that I want to make clear. When you come on here, I want you to be able to say whatever the hell you want. All right? Like, I'm so against censorship and so against the government or companies deciding what you can and can't say. Even if someone has a opinion that I fucking despise, I might, debate with them and stuff, but I will always defend their right to say it. I think right when you start limiting freedom, freedom, I can't fucking talk. Doing that with freedom of speech, that's the downfall of humanity, boys. And we can't have that, we're already declining, in some ways, but that'll definitely speed up that process. It's just so detrimental to society. And so, no matter how controversial, how offensive, I want you to say it, no matter what it is, I want you to feel totally comfortable saying it. And so that's another thing. And then I think maybe once a month or something I might live stream. Live streaming is cool, and I'm definitely going to do it, like I said, maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months or so. But, there's a good chance that, I don't know, I don't want to get banned because that's bullshit, So I'm going to post this on a few different platforms. Definitely on YouTube. And probably some others. But, yeah. And another thing is I want to find, sometimes, let's say at the beginning of every episode, I'll share with you guys something interesting and crazy I found online, and I'll go into it into depth, and I'll give you my opinions on it, or just crazy shit that happens in the world. I want to go over that stuff. This world is huge, and there's a bunch of crazy shit that happens every day, and I think it's fascinating. Some of it is tragic, some of it's good, but either way, it's interesting. I think humanity is fascinating. I really do see things in a different perspective, and I think that's helped me form a lot of my opinions. But my opinions aren't locked in, If you guys show me evidence to prove otherwise, then I'll listen to it, and my opinions can change and adapt, and I'm not closed-minded. A lot of people think that, but I'm really not. I have some extreme views, but my views are pretty open, and I'm pretty tolerant for the most part. I want every person of every race, every religion, every gender, whatever. I want them all on here. I want to hear their view. I'm not just gonna sit there and criticize. I'll ask logical questions. Especially with different religions and stuff. But I'm not just gonna be like, fuck you, you're stupid. Anything like that. I want people to share their opinions, and I'm not just gonna criticize. I mean, if they say something obviously stupid, no matter who it is, I'm gonna criticize. That's just how your boy is, I'm always gonna be honest, whether it's what people like to hear or not, and I feel like that's a good way to be. A lot of people won't like you for that, but what fun is life without enemies, you know what I mean? If everyone got along, I think the world would be too boring. But, so this is going to be a pretty short episode, guys. This is just kind of an introduction, talking about myself, talking about, the goals for the podcast, what we're going to be doing here. And so, this one's probably only going to be 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, something around there. But next week, we're going to have, maybe even later this week, I'm not sure yet, we're going to have, guests on. It's going to be a damn good time. I'll probably have Austin on with me next time. So, we're going to do that. But I feel like this is a good start. I know a lot of you guys have been like, Dax, when are you going to post it? When are you going to post it? Well, boys, I'm posting it. So, sorry this episode wasn't the most interesting, but, an introduction is necessary. You got to do what you got to do. So, Alright, guys. Well, I sincerely appreciate you guys listening and your support. And shout out to Wesley and Forrest. You guys are the shit. You guys have helped me a lot with this podcast. And you guys also have a badass podcast. And you guys should, all of you guys should go check them out. They kick ass. So, alright, guys. This is kind of a bland first episode, but I think it was good nonetheless. And stay tuned. Either this week or next week, we'll post another episode with someone else. And yeah, alright. Later, bitches.